Entrepreneurs in Fuego, another edition of Entrepreneurs in Fuego. We're here at the Office Pile. Did you know that this is the first culturally diverse co-working space in the nation and ranked number 5 co-working space in the United States?
As a matter of fact, I was one of the people who nominated you for that.
You're beautiful. We're here with Diane Pruitt. Diane, how are you? Good to have you. Good to have you here. Thank you so much for coming in. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, I'm Diane Pruitt, as you said, and I have a marketing company, marketing media and design company that I started here in Phoenix. I actually moved here from Atlanta, Georgia, and I've only been here roughly about 5 months.
I was in Atlanta, Georgia once.
Is that right?
And I was in Atlanta. I drove there with a very good friend of mine. Uh-huh. We landed in Atlanta. My friend, this is probably about 10 years ago. He is from Korea, but he doesn't look any stereotypical Korean. He's a tall guy, very handsome. Yeah. And so we were there for about a week, and we just did not belong there, man. I mean, we just people were looking at us like, well, you better go back wherever you came from.
Well, I think that's probably one of the reasons I'm here.
There you go.
Yeah, even though I'd been there about 20 years.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I'd worked very hard and very long. I was with practically any Fortune 500 company you could mention. I probably worked for one there in Atlanta.
How do you change the perception for a company or for a city, if you will?
Yeah.
I mean, you're in marketing.
Yeah.
And one could argue that would be, let's say, if I were to commission a job, change my image.
Change your image.
And market my image in such a way that the perception that I have about you or the city or the business, etc., is different.
Is different.
Is that, what you do?
Kind of, sort of. I mean, one of the things I do is help people brand themselves.
There you go.
Okay, but more importantly, help people understand and customers understand how important it is to engage people.
Right.
So you have to do that effectively with the brand, but you have to make sure that you're also putting in place other things that support that brand, so that you can make certain that people, when they engage with, we call them touch points. So that when they're touching you at different points, let's say through Facebook or through the media, any kind of media, right, video or audio media, that every time that you are touching that customer, you are letting them know or telling them that this is who I am. And so you create this image. You spend a lot of time developing content. You spend a lot of time looking at visually. The Office Pile does this beautifully.
Thank you. Thank you.
Visually, you have your brand, and when you see it, you know exactly who you are.
You can't.
There's no way
you just cannot know it.
So, and as a matter of fact, I remember when I first saw it, I thought, what is that?
And I got a phone call yesterday. It's a friend of mine, and he says, "Hey, look, man, I had to call you because I was just driving up 7th Street, and I saw this huge calavera right there in your building." I'm like, well.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's all about. It's all about branding, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about branding. And the thing that's really cool is the way you took your name, the Office Pile, and you built this entire, this image around this pile, which I thought was cool. And the co-working space is absolutely beautiful. So it sort of reinforces your brand, your image. You're about art. You're about bringing in diversity and a creativity that typically you don't see in many co-working spaces. A lot of those co-working spaces, by the way, are very, how can I say?
Boring!
Well, boring, but they're very much branded off of that corporate image. And one of the things that happens with that is, in corporations, you don't embrace diversity that much. At least not visually, until I think many corporations realized they were missing a huge market by not doing that, and so they did start to incorporate that eventually. But what happened is that it was bland for a very long time, and a lot of them are spending still a lot of money trying to figure out how to meld that image and in effect de-bland.
Is it? We're here with Diane Pruitt, a marketing maven. Now, is it hard or harder to brand yourself? Because you're in marketing, I mean, we're talking about, okay, you
Yeah,
have
that's
to
a
market
real-
yourself, right? You have to brand yourself.
That's a real good question. It's hard. I'm not the best person to ask that, because for me it's very hard, because I'm a bit of an artist as well.
Yep.
Very creative.
Sure.
And so
You have to be.
it's very hard to pigeonhole myself into some categories. In marketing, the categories, for instance, are media, and then the media has to be digital media. And then you have to have a name for the way you're going to market. In my case, I call it engagement marketing.
Okay.
And that's because that allows me to broaden the offerings that I have, and it helps me sort of define a little bit of who I am and bring that to my client. So I don't necessarily bring the same, how shall I say it, the cookie cutter approach to marketing that you might get from a standard marketing company.
Right.
I have a client, for instance, who is in retail, and we are working on the standard campaign, which would be an email campaign,
Yeah.
or a Facebook campaign, advertising campaign. But we're also looking at her, at the physical space, and I'm looking at this space, and I'm saying, is this really visually what you want to convey to your customers when they come in? If we're going to engage them, and if we're going to get them in here, not only do we want to get them in, we want to like it so much that they want to keep coming back and coming back and coming back. And so you have to pretty much create an environment
So you were
that does that.
You were in corporate America for a while.
20 years.
20 years in corporate, and then you decided, I had enough of that.
Well, as you know, yes. I mean, there's so many people in corporate America still who are moonlighting on the side, so to speak.
Okay.
We have our side businesses, the things that actually allow us to be creative and do the things that we really want to do. And of course, the corporate job pays the bills.
Okay, so when you decided to jump from corporate America, which was how long ago? I mean,
Probably about 9 years ago.
9 years ago. So
Yeah.
you decided to jump from corporate America to become
Yeah.
Diane Pruitt Inc.
Yes.
And how did that happen? Was there a moment in time that you can just go back and say, this was the moment that broke the camel's back? This was the moment that I said enough is enough, and the following day you said, all right, I'm doing this.
I honestly wish, Francisco, I could say I had that real romantic kind of moment where I said enough is enough and I walked away. But actually my marketing department was downsizing. So,
All right.
so essentially, we all ended up either taking on other jobs or just leaving the company.
So necessity forced you to
Forced
become
me out.
Forced you out to
Yeah.
become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And that sort of obligates you to become creative, right? 'Cause
Exactly.
Now you have that necessity, that event is telling you, well, you got to do something on your own or find another
Exactly.
job, otherwise, you're
Well,
gonna
I
be
kind of
able to-
said, I didn't like this anyway. So, so
I didn't
thank you.
wanna be here
I
anyway,
didn't
that's
really
why.
like this anyway. Thank you very much, and I appreciate the art. So I just started figuring out how to do what I do on my own,
But that's
make
one,
money from it.
right. But that's one thing though, Diane, that you figure it is 9 years and you've been in business for 9 years.
Yeah.
But there's still something. You wake up in the morning and there's something that fuels your fire.
Yes.
What is that?
I like to get out and meet people. I like to get out and help people develop their businesses. I like the idea of helping people grow businesses. And that's one of the reasons I'm working with small businesses. So when I get up in the morning, I look for businesses that will allow me to express what I do. And then I want to make sure that I'm helping those businesses achieve what they want as well.
Have you ever had a client where all right, so you started the client, listen to the client, and right in the middle of the you find out that this client is just an asshole. You just don't want to work with this client anymore.
No,
You're just
because
Jesus, I mean, I'm sorry I took this job.
No, I don't generally feel that way. I actually enjoy it most of the time. I was listening to your artist before, and it is very hard sometimes if you're not able to bring the creativity that you have inside out. But most of the time, my clients will allow that. And those that don't, at some point, and it's really, to me, subjective. It may be subjective initially.
Right.
And then I have to sit down and figure out how to make it sound objective. So the objective response typically is, this doesn't feel like this is going to be a really good fit.
So even if you have all the marketing
Yes.
savvy,
Yeah.
you have to, what I'm listening or what I'm hearing from you is that you have to be a people person first, kind of a psychologist
Yes.
or psychiatrist, and just kind of understand what that person is trying to tell you.
Exactly.
And you kind of will say, all right, these are the marketing things that we're going to do because I think it will benefit you this other way.
Exactly. And by the way, if you don't go in this direction, we're probably not a good fit for one another.
So the client has to actually have confidence in what you're doing.
They have to, because
they have to let you.
But, right.
It's like an artist. I mean, you're talking about. You know, when I commission a piece of work or a mural to an artist, I gotta trust that artist is going to do his best.
Exactly.
Same thing with you, right?
Exactly.
I have to trust, or as a client, I have to trust that your professionalism in your field of marketing is going to take me there, and it's going to increase my business by X percentage.
Exactly. And I'm going to tell you what I think works, and I'm going to tell you what I've seen work. And I do a lot of research, so I'm going to tell you what has been proven to work.
Tell me the secrets.
What are some of the secrets?
Tell me.
Some of to which one? What do you want
to
know?
What works?
Well, I think first of all, what works is what you've done, is to build a real solid brand and to hold on to that brand. Because one of the things that people tend to do right away is 3 weeks down the road, they're not getting the response that they want, and they want to change things up. But one of the things you have to do is hold on to that brand that you set up, that marketing program, whatever it is. You hold on to that for at least 2 or 3 months. Give it a chance to sort of, get its footing.
Right.
Because it's like ideas don't really solidify until you spend some time.
Very good.
Working that idea. So the brand is definitely the first thing that you do, and we start with the website.
Right. So branding is one, and be patient with your brand.
Be patient with the brand.
What's number 2?
Number 2, look for ways to make sure you're doing the kinds of things that customers want to be involved in, that they want to engage you and your business in. So when you're talking to customers, or when you're bringing customers in, sort of like what you're doing, when you bring in new small businesses, you're trying to create an atmosphere that makes people want to come back and want to continue to be a part of. You want customers to be a part of your business, not just come and then leave, not just come and shop and go and you don't see them anymore. You want them to actually be a part of your development.
If I may, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what we're trying to do then is create a community, basically.
A community. Exactly.
All right. So
it's
branding,
important.
Be patient with your brand, create a community. What else would you say?
I would say, and then once you create that community, make sure you stay in touch. And that's, and this is one of when I say you start talking about the tools that people typically use, then you start using those tools effectively. The emails and the videos and the Facebook, the social media.
Sure.
All of those are really important. The advertising, the kinds of things that allow you to stay in front of your customers. Because the most important thing in marketing, in terms of keeping a customer, in terms of growing the market, is staying top of mind. And even that's the expression we use, top of mind.
Top of mind.
Top of mind.
There you go.
So when people wake up in the morning, you want them to say, oh my gosh, I have not been to Office Pile today. This week. I need to go today.
Did you go?
Nice.
I like that.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Francisco in a couple of weeks. I need to go talk to him.
There you go.
So that's what you want. You want top of mind all the time.
Wonderful. Oh, That was a weak crow. That was really one of your weakest for the day. See, things fly around
Oh,
here.
wow.
And we're going to give you, since we're talking about branding,
Yes.
we're talking about creating a community, and
Yes.
number third of your tips was stay in touch.
Top of mind.
Top
now.
of mind.
And how am I going to forget when I have a T-shirt
You
like
ain't
this?
gonna forget about this one. This one was done by Lalo Cotto. This is a really beautiful T-shirt.
Yes.
And we're incredibly proud that you are here today. I mean,
Thank
your
you.
teachings, they are recorded now. This is for posterity, so we're going to remember those things.
Awesome.
And hopefully what we can do, my suggestion would be for you to come back and give a little workshop about what you're talking about.
I'd love
'Cause
to.
we all need marketing. Whether
I would love
you
to.
think that you need it or not, we're always selling something.
Exactly.
Either ourselves, our
Exactly.
products, our services. If you're not selling yourself, then you're
Yeah.
not doing your job.
Exactly.
You're not
Yeah.
doing your job.
Great.
You're awesome. Thank you for
Thank
coming,
you.
Diane.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah.
That's great. Give me a hug. Give me a
Okay.
hug. Thank you so much. We're out.